At 1:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, December 20th, Senate leaders dropped a $1.7 trillion, 4,000-page year-long federal government funding bill. But a small group of Democrat and Republican Senate leaders are the only ones who know what's in the bill, which seems to be how America has done business for decades now, so there's nothing new there. However, all of the other members of Congress have no clue at all what is in the bill and have until Friday, December 23rd, just 2 days really, to read all 4,000 plus pages before the deadline to fund the U.S. government runs out. But if you saw the video I put out last week on the subject, you all know exactly what's in there. Pork, and tons of it. Yet it was these same senators and congressmen and women that just last week refused to extend the deadline for Boeing to make safety improvements to the MAX 7 and 10 to escape the cost of government-demanded changes to make the MAX aircraft safer. But some of you may also recall how I ended that last video by laughing out loud at the thought that Boeing would actually have to make any changes to the MAX, and of course their deadline would be extended. Well, guess what savory piece of pork has been hidden in this giant 4,000-page budget? Yup, it's a Festivus Miracle.
It's a Festivus Miracle!
That's next on Maximus. Well, season's greetings and Merry Christmas, everybody. Maximus here. 'Tis the season for giving, especially in the U.S. government, where every year just before Congress goes home for Christmas break, both Democrats and Republicans alike give their home states and towns all sorts of gifts that only a handful of politicians even know about, except for the usual top-tier criminals, politicians, that is. So it should come as no surprise that in that ginormous budget, Congress gave Boeing the clearance it needs to get the 737 MAX 7 and 10 model jet certified without any further changes. According to Dominic Gates in the Seattle Times, this amendment ensures that a deadline included in legislation passed back in 2020 no longer applies to the MAX 7 and MAX 10 models that have yet to enter service. Without that waiver from Congress, the FAA couldn't certify those two planes to fly passengers without an extensive design upgrade to the systems that alert the crew when something goes wrong in flight. While the crew alerting system upgrade won't be required, the language in the new bill includes a condition proposed earlier this month by U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell that will require all airlines to retrofit two specific safety enhancements. Boeing developed those enhancements for the MAX 10, however, the bill requires them to be retrofitted to the MAX 7 and to the two earlier models already certified and in service, the MAX 8 and MAX 9 jets. But the amendment allows Boeing 3 years after the MAX 10 is certified, most likely in late 2024, to retrofit those safety enhancements to all MAX models, after which no MAX can fly without the upgrades. So basically they have until 2027 to retrofit all the MAX jets. The bill also requires Boeing to bear the cost of all the retrofits. This new legislative gift provides relief to Boeing, which had lobbied hard for an amendment to avoid considerable additional costs and delays in getting the MAX 7 and MAX 10 into service. In July, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun even hinted that without the waiver, it might cancel the MAX 7 and 10 models altogether. In a statement, Washington Senator Maria Cantwell said, "The legislation advanced on Tuesday is much stronger than the no-strings-attached approach that was first offered." She added that passengers need to know the entire MAX fleet will be uniform and safer. But Congress really had no choice but to grant Boeing the extension, because Canadian and European aviation regulators have already said they will require upgrades for the MAX to fly in their jurisdictions. While that means that Boeing would have had to offer the two safety enhancements as retrofits, in this case the U.S. can claim they're the first jurisdiction to make the retrofits legally mandatory within a set time frame. But U.S. pilot unions have been divided on the issue. The union that represents the 15,000 American Airlines pilots opposes the congressional waiver and wanted the crew alerting system upgraded to make the MAX safer. However, the Southwest Airlines Pilots Association, representing the 10,000 pilots at Southwest, the largest MAX customer with 234 of the MAX 7 variant on order, explicitly asked Congress to grant Boeing the relief. Also, the Airline Pilots Association, which represents more than 66,000 pilots in North America, also lined up with Boeing, issuing a statement that we are confident in the safety of the MAX. But if you're new to this issue, Boeing needed this reprieve because the Aircraft Certification, Safety, and Accountability Act, passed in 2020 after the two MAX crashes that killed 346 people, required all planes certified after the end of this year to have crew alerting systems designed to the latest safety regulations. Without the deadline waiver in the Omnibus bill, Boeing would have been forced to fully upgrade the crew alerting system. As it stands now, the jet won't meet the latest crew alerting standard. Okay, so then what are the changes that Boeing is making to the MAX to make them safer and meet the laws of the US as well as world regulators? The first enhancement feeds the jet's flight computer a third measure of the jet's angle of attack, the angle between the wing and the oncoming airstream, a key data point used in various control systems. The MAX only has two physical angle of attack sensors. The third check won't be an additional physical sensor, but software. That would be a virtual cross-check of both angle of attack sensors instead of only one. That information will then be calculated by the flight computer from a variety of other sensors and inputs. In the MAX crashes, the flawed flight control system depended on a single angle of attack sensor reading. That proved false. The second enhancement is a switch that enables the pilot to silence an erroneous stick shaker alert, a stall warning that vigorously vibrates the control column. During the MAX crashes, a false stick shaker alarm distracted the pilots throughout the flight. But senators insist that the Omnibus Bill amendment ensures that those improvements will be on all MAXs flying in the US within 3 years of the MAX 10 certification. Both European and Canadian authorities had previously made it clear that they will also mandate that these two safety enhancements must be retrofitted to all MAXs in service. However, Congress will still have to vote on the Omnibus bill by the 23rd before they leave Washington. And even though politicians on both sides of the aisle will huff and puff about this or that, they already know they have the votes needed to pass yet another pork-filled budget. And once again, it's the American taxpayer that will have to foot the bill. So there you have it, an 11th hour surprise that surprises absolutely nobody. Boeing can now relax and concentrate on getting the MAX 7 and 10 certified. Oh, and I found it humorous that Congress has said that Boeing only has 3 years to make the demanded changes or those jets won't be allowed to fly. That's just another deadline they can extend in 3 years. Well, that's all I have for now. As always, please be sure to tell me what you think, so let me know down below. And of course, if you think I've earned it, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell. And if I don't talk to you before Christmas again, please make sure to have a very safe and Merry Christmas. And until next time, remember, leave the rubber on the runway and your troubles on the ground. And I will see you next time in the air. Yeah, this is Maximus.